deliberate Hamas terrorist weapon. And with the exception of chemical weapons or nuclear weapons, it's the ultimate terror weapon. And any country would act to defend itself against this. We're doing exactly what any country would do, you would do, if you were targeted from across the border. You would try to pinpoint the rocketeers. That's what we're doing.
All right, folks, welcome to Gimme 5. In the previous hour, we brought you the Palestinian side of this with my commentary in between the videos. And now we're bringing you the Israeli side with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, also on Face the Nation yesterday. And of course, although with this president, I'm not so sure how we would respond if rockets were flying at us from across the border. You never know. He might want to go meet the people shooting the rockets and have lunch with them. Shoot pool with them. Who knows? Play golf with them. Here's more.
Hamas and the other terrorist groups like Islamic Jihad are firing from Gaza when their rocketeers and their command posts are embedded in homes, hospitals, next to kindergartens, mosques. And so we're trying to operate to target them surgically. But the difference between us is that we're using missile defense to protect our civilians, and they're using their civilians to protect their missiles. So naturally, they're responsible for all the civilian deaths that occur accidentally. We're sorry for any accidental civilian death, but it's the Hamas that bears complete responsibility for such civilian casualties.
Absolutely. Are you listening, media? Hamas is responsible for the civilian casualties, not Israel. And Hamas uses their civilians to protect their rockets. And quite the opposite is true for Israel. It's a shame. It's a sin. And the Palestinian culture, that's what it's all about. They teach their kids to kill the Jew and hate the Jew, and they sacrifice their civilians for publicity. More.
Our goal is to achieve sustainable quiet and security for our people, and we're doing that by degrading Hamas and other terror capabilities. I'm not going to say right now how and when that goal will be achieved, whether by diplomatic and military means, but that goal has to be achieved. We need to have quiet restored to our people for a sustainable period of time and not just for 5 minutes.
First, I thought that was a sign of weakness, that he was willing to have a ceasefire. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it means that he's going to try to take out as much of Hamas and their infrastructure and their rockets and their tunnels as possible. Let's see what else he has to say.
We've just received now a quiet alert. As we were giving this interview, can you hear this through the, can you hear this? No?
Yes.
Well, what you're hearing right now is that's the calm alert. In other words, when we began this interview, we were under bomb alert. And as the minutes passed, now we are being told that people can go out into the open air again. This is the kind of reality we're living in, Bob, and we'll do, as I said, whatever is necessary to put an end to this.
Right. What country could live like that? What people could survive living like that? And the answer is nobody. One final video.
Look, I think there are two separate issues. Whether we can achieve a negotiated settlement with those Palestinians who are willing to coexist next to Israel is one question, but that doesn't fly in the face of the other need. In fact, I think it is complemented by the other need. That you've got to fight back and roll back the forces who are seeking to extinguish the Jewish state completely. We need to defeat those people, roll them back, or peace is not going to be possible. Because as far as Hamas is concerned, they couldn't care less if you come with a two-state solution, a three-state solution, or a four-state solution. They want a no-state solution, no Jewish state.
Absolutely, which is another issue. The Palestinian Authority, forget Hamas, sworn to the destruction of Israel, which is now part of the Palestinian Authority's government. But the Palestinian Authority will not recognize Israel as a Jewish state. So their two-state solution are two Palestinian states. The one now called Israel, which would be overrun by Palestinians through the so-called right of return, and the new Palestinian state. Isn't that a wonderful, wonderful plan? Oh boy. All right, folks, you heard it all here first on the Steve Malzberg Show.